They've been in production since 1792, and now they're being phased out. Back in February, U.S. President Donald Trump called producing pennies wasteful and said he'd instructed the Treasury to stop making them. It currently costs around 4 cents to make each 1 cent coin, and the U.S. Mint has just placed its final order of the blank discs used to make new pennies. Once they're stamped into coins, new penny production will stop in the U.S. unless the Trump administration changes its mind, Congress mandates the return of the penny, or a future administration restarts the process. The Treasury Department says eliminating penny production will save the government $56 million per year. But experts say doing this will eventually increase demand for nickels, which currently cost 14 cents to produce each 5-cent coin. So unless officials find a way to do that more cheaply, getting rid of the penny won't make much sense. So does this mean pennies will vanish instantly and forever? No. The ones that exist will stay in circulation, probably for years before they start to disappear. Experts have said this could have an impact on prices if retailers round those up to the nearest nickel. But all this is new territory because over the course of the American penny's 233-year lifespan, this has never happened before. This is The World from A to Z, your nonpartisan look at global news and events, and I'm your host, Carl Azus. Welcome to the show. Not since the war in Ukraine began in 2022 has Russia launched more drones and missiles in a single attack than it did Saturday night. The nation fired more than 350 of these weapons into Ukraine, killing 13 people, according to the British Broadcasting Corporation. It followed a night of back-and-forth drone attacks between the two enemies, and this was going on as they made their largest exchange of prisoners of war. 1,000 people were set to be released by the two sides between Friday and Sunday. Despite the hope that brought, experts say the attack signaled that peace wasn't on the horizon. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for new international sanctions or penalties against Russia for its biggest aerial assault on Ukraine. That's something Zelensky's European allies seem to support. U.S. President Donald Trump, who's been promoting direct peace negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, said Russian President Vladimir Putin has gone, quote, absolutely crazy, needlessly killing a lot of people. Russia's government responded that President Trump's comments were connected to a, quote, emotional overload, and Russia said its attack was retaliatory and aimed only at military targets. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine began in 2022.
Word of knowledge. 802.11 is a set of standards better known as what? LTE, JavaScript, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. As the technology was being developed, industry leaders decided that Wi-Fi was a catchier trademark than 802.11.
Staying connected has become a necessity, but experts warn
free and public Wi-Fi access points can be fraught with danger.
Personal data can be big business for hackers and scammers, leading to an ever-growing number of threats to be aware of. A big one, the man-in-the-middle or evil twin Wi-Fi scam.
A Wi-Fi network that looks like the real legitimate one, but it's actually run by somebody who could be very nearby, trying deliberately to intercept your data. Passwords, logins, they could even hack into your computer.
Internet security expert and CMO president Eric Plam says these are some things to remember when connecting to that cafe, airport, hotel, or other public and free Wi-Fi. Be wary if it's too easy, even if free. Cafes, airport lounges, or hotels often ask for a password or room number. Once you do connect, check to make sure you're browsing on a secure site. You can do that by looking at where you type in a web address. It should say HTTPS. There also might be a symbol of a padlock, though this isn't always guaranteed to be safe according to the FBI. You should also refrain from logging into bank accounts or conducting sensitive transactions. And if you want to go a step further, buy a VPN or virtual private network, a service provided by lots of different vendors, which creates a secure tunnel between your device and whatever site you're visiting. But the best option, according to Plam, use your own hotspot.
On this date in world history. history. This was the date in 1660 when the Treaty of Copenhagen was signed. It ended decades of war between Sweden and the Union of Denmark-Norway, and the treaty helped establish borders for what are now Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. This date in 1937 was part of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge Fiesta. The California landmark officially opened to pedestrians on May 27th, allowing people to walk across it for a 25-cent fee. It opened to car traffic the next day. And ships thought to be unsinkable have not gone down well in history. You know about the Titanic. Another famous vessel, the German battleship Bismarck, had been engaged with British forces for several days in 1941 during World War II. By May 27th, the Bismarck's rudder had been damaged by British planes, and British battleships sank the German vessel that morning. Only 110 of the Bismarck's 2,300 crew survived.
Where in the world? This is a South American nation that achieved its independence from Spain in 1816. It's home to both the tallest mountain and lowest point in the Western Hemisphere. Translated from Spanish, the name of its capital means fair winds. Buenos Aires is the capital of Argentina, whose population is 47 million people.
Argentina is a soccer powerhouse, the reigning World Cup champions. The South American nation has produced some of soccer's all-time greats, like Diego Maradona and Lionel Messi. Football is a unifying force in the country, bringing together people across social, economic, and cultural divides. But now the sports world in Argentina is at a crossroads. The government is pushing for private investment in local football, but sports clubs are pushing back, arguing that it threatens their community-focused role.
The clubs were born as neighborhood clubs, nonprofit organizations to bring people in, to get kids off the streets, to add value. If they turn into corporations, it's like losing the purpose for which the club was created.
In Argentina, football clubs are more than just sports teams. The clubs provide educational services, host community events, and even fund other sports like field hockey, gymnastics, and swimming.
Of course, football is the engine of the club's economy, and that's why the decisions made in that area are so important. Without football, the club would almost inherently be in a deficit.
Right now, Argentina's football clubs are owned by their members and run as nonprofit organizations. But behind the curtain lies a significant amount of political corruption. And because of that corruption and Argentina's struggling economy, football has seen a decline in recent years. Many clubs in Argentina can't afford to pay the best players, so their up-and-coming talent moves away to play abroad. Many are concerned that if nothing changes, Argentina's future football success could be in jeopardy. President Javier Milei issued 2 decrees in the last year aimed at persuading the Argentine Football Association to allow clubs to become for-profit sports corporations. Both were blocked in court. So for now, Argentina's football club model remains unchanged.
Always excited to announce folks like my friend Mr. Julian and his students at Winfield High. You guys are awesome like Fridays. Next, some believe it's because George Washington once described New York as the seat of the empire that it's known as the Empire State. It's also where Mrs. Clement's class is watching from Linden Avenue Middle School in Red Hook. The Dukes of Wellington are next. It's a village in Ohio where the students and teachers of Wellington Village Schools are watching from the Buckeye State. Vadnais Heights is a city in Minnesota where you'll find Mr. Mackley's class at Academy for Sciences and Agriculture High School. We also caught some jackrabbits watching from San Jacinto Technology Institute. Mr. Sanchez's class is in San Jacinto, California. It's not known exactly when this event in Britain got started, but it's been on a roll since it was first recorded back in 1826. The Cooper's Hill Cheese Roll involves that very thing, an exceptionally steep hill, and scores of competitors who risk broken bones and concussions, and often get them, on their pursuit of a double Gloucester cheese wheel. They tumble down a hill measuring the length of 2 football fields, and even the crowd that gathers assumes some risk. Like my cheesy puns themselves, this has been done before. Some folks just regatta Asia go do something chidering, even if they don't know jack about the monstrous marscapane such a fate leaves them in. Maybe after recovering provolone, they'll swish say words so black and blue and wonder why they fell for something so cheesy. I'm Carl Azus. Thanks for spending time with us today on The World from A to Z. You mean the world to me.